The United Nations is an international organization of peace and cooperation. It was created in 1945 after World War II by 51 countries to replace the League of Nations. Currently, 193 nations belong to the UN. The United Nations has headquarters in New York, Geneva, and Vienna. The official languages are Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. The four purposes of the United Nations include to maintain international peace and security, to develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples, also to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian character, to be centered for harmonizing the actions of nations in the attainment of these common ends.
The United Nations consists of 6 branches. The first branch is the General Assembly. The second branch is the Security Council. The third branch is the Economic and Social Council. The fourth branch is the International Court of Justice. The fifth branch is the Trusteeship Council. The sixth branch is the Secretariat. The first branch is the General Assembly. This is the largest branch of the United Nations, and it is where the United Nations policies are created. The General Assembly discusses international issues such as human rights, economic development, and disaster relief. It votes on critical matters and requires 2/3 of the majority to pass the issue. Less urgent matters need only a simple majority. Each member state gets 1 vote. The General Assembly is only an advisory board, so their vote is just a reflection of what the Security Council's final vote will be. The second branch is the Security Council. It consists of 15 members, 5 permanent and 10 temporary. The temporary members serve 2-year terms. The Security Council maintains international peace and security. It has the authority to create economic sanctions, order arms embargoes, and engage in peacekeeping and collective military action. Any country can bring a dispute, even a non-member. Decisions require a supermajority, which is 9 yes votes to pass. Members rotate the role of the presidency each month. The Security Council is the most essential branch of the United Nations. The third branch is the Economic and Social Council. This council addresses issues related to human welfare and human rights. Its focus is to help develop living conditions in third world countries. It partners with many non-governmental organizations to help coordinate each group's efforts. The Economic and Social Council has responsibilities for 70% of the financial resources of the United Nations. The fourth branch is the International Court of Justice. It is also known as the World Court. The World Court is the main judicial system of the United Nations and consists of 15 judges. Its job is to settle disputes between countries. The judges serve 9-year terms, and no 2 judges may be from the same country. The World Court rules on basis of international law. Verdicts are final, and there are no appeals. The fifth branch is the Trusteeship Council. This council was established to provide international supervision to 11 trust territories. A trust territory is a colony placed under administration by another country or countries. The Trusteeship Council prepares these colonies for independence. The 5 permanent members of the Security Council make up the Trusteeship Council. The final branch of the United Nations is the Secretariat. It is the Secretary of the UN. It consists of departments and offices and employs 44,000 people. It carries out the administrative work of the United Nations. The Secretariat is headed by the Secretary General, who is elected by the General Assembly by the recommendation of the Security Council. The Secretary General is the Chief Administrative Officer at all meetings of the General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Council, and the Trusteeship Council, and he is the public face of the United Nations.
Aside from the United Nations, there are other organizations that govern the world's economic and judicial systems. They are smaller governmental agencies related to the UN. One of these parts is the International Economic Organizations. Under this, there is the World Trade Organization. It accounts for 97% of the world's trade, and its job is to guarantee each member country of the UN equal market access. It works toward a continuous flow of products, but does allow for some taxes and other forms of protectionism. Another part of the International Economic Organizations is the International Monetary Fund. It was originally founded to restore the economy after World War II and the Great Depression. Today, the IMF, as it is commonly known, works to help third world countries break free of their cycle of debt. The next subgroup is the World Bank. It provides loans and assistance to developing nations for economic and infrastructural projects. The IMF and the World Bank work together to formulate policy. The second part of the other international institutions is called International Judicial Organizations. Within this group is the International Criminal Court. It prosecutes individuals for genocide and crimes against humanity, and it bases its rulings on international laws and customs. The ICC, as it is known as, prosecutes only if a state is unable to or unwilling. The U.S. is not considered a member, and it is called the Court of Last Resort. The other group within it is called the International Tribunals. It was established in the absence of the ICC to deal with crimes committed in Yugoslavia and Rwanda in the 1990s. It will dissolve when its work is complete.